Hey, hello, I'm Kråkan, also known as Cornix, and welcome to Classy Movie Rambles, where I talk about old movies that I found in my closet while cleaning. This week's movie is Aristocats. It's about 1 hour and 50 minutes long, and the movie starts with an intro credits of the makers of the movie, and then cutting to Madame, the owner of the cats, and Duchess, one of her main cats, so to speak, the adult cat, we can say that. They ride in a carriage and they arrive home, and later George arrives, which he is like Madame's attorney or something like that. And then there is this gag with Edgar, the butler, and George not wanting to take the elevator, even though he's plus 80 years old. It's kind of a funny gag, I think. And later George and Madame dances to a record, and he is there to write her will. And the will is basically about she wants the cats to inherit everything before Edgar. So Edgar listens in on the conversation, and he's not happy about it. And then later cutting to the kittens playing and fighting as kids do. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things. And one of the cats paint, I think is Toulouse. Yes, Toulouse. And he paints Edgar, and then cutting to Edgar and his evil plan of putting sleeping pills in the milk. Really evil. So while this is happening, Marie and the other Berlioz, I think he's called, I don't remember, they practice scales on the piano, and Edgar arrives and serves the milk, and there's this like house mouse, if you can call it that. It's called Roquefort. He arrives with a cracker and he dips it in the milk, and he's about to go get more crackers, and then he passes out because of the sleeping pills. Later that night, Edgar grabs the cats and put them in a basket, and he goes to his motorcycle, and he drives out on the countryside to get rid of them. So as he approaches the countryside, there are two dogs that attack him. I think they're called Lafayette and Napoleon, and there's just this crazy motorcycle action where Edgar drops the cat basket under a bridge, and he barely escapes with his life with these crazy dogs. So yeah. And the next morning, the cat wakes up. They took cover under like the bridge in the basket, and Duchess is awoken by Thomas O'Malley, which is the stray cat, and like a jazzy kind of vibe fella. And he wakes it up, as I said, as he sings, and he flirts with Duchess, not realizing that she has kids. Thomas agrees to help Duchess get back to Paris as the kids arrive. And then he forces a milkman to stop his truck, so they can get on the back, and Maria almost falls off the back end of the truck, and they drink some milk and whatnot. So he kind of lied to the kids and told them that was like a magic carpet ride and whatnot, but kids are kids. So then cutting back to Paris, where Madame is worried or wary, and Roquefort returns empty-handed and talks to the horse called Frou Frou. I think it's French. Yeah. Later, Edgar arrives at the stables, and he tells Frou Frou, "Can you keep a secret?" "Of course you can. You're like a stupid horse or something." So his crime, the catnapping, made it into the papers, and he's very proud of it. Then he realized that he forgot a lot of stuff at the crime scenes that are tied to him, so he has to get it back. And then cutting back to Duchess and the other on the truck. So the driver realized that they're on the back of the truck, so he stops the truck, and they're forced out. They kind of run off into the distance, and then they walk on a train track, and of course a real train arrives and almost crushes them. So they kind of duck under the rails, and Marie falls into the water, and Thomas dives to save her, and he kind of tosses her up the shore, but he can't swim, so he almost drowns, and he's saved by two British geese called Abigail and Amelia. And he doesn't like them, but they're going to Paris, and apparently the Duchess has no problem with this. So they start to go on their way to Paris, and the geese tells him about his Uncle Waldo, and they arrive at Paris shortly, and he's on the menu. They're supposed to eat him, so before they could eat him, they marinate him. He's drunk as a skunk, and they make fun of his drunkenness, basically. So what Amelia and Abigail does is they part with the others and try to bring Uncle Waldo home. And so comes night, and Edgar, yet again with his evil schemes, he goes out to the crime scene to get the stuff that he left behind. And it's all over again with the funny dogs and whatnot. And then cutting to Thomas and the other cats, and they arrive to what he describes as a penthouse, but it's just a worn out building which is abandoned. And they're not alone, however. The Alley Cats are there, like this gang of crazy jazz musicians. Yeah. So they sing a bit. There's like a lot of singing and dancing. And later Thomas and Duchess talk it out, and they realize that they can't be together because of they're different, I guess. So they can't move in with the Madame and being all that. So they go to the house and they part way. Thomas leaves. He's sad, kind of. And Edgar is there, of course, and he catches the cats in the bag, literally in a bag, and he throws them into a stove, like locks them in an oven. And the cats tells Rockford to go get Thomas, and he runs to Thomas, and Thomas tells Rockford yet again to get the Alley Cats, and that's what he does. So there's like, Rockford gets the Alley Cats, but there's some trouble there, but he managed to persuade him to, I think he forgot O'Malley's name, because O'Malley kind of says like, you just say that I sent you and it will be fine. But anyway, it ends up with a big fight scene at the end in the stables, and Edgar managed to get locked up in a chest and being shipped to Timbuktu, because that's what he planned to send the cats, but he failed miserably at it. And then at the end of the movie, Madame turns her house into a cat shelter, and Thomas and everyone is happy, I guess. So what do I think about Aristocats? It's a good movie, and actually it's the first time I'd seen it in English, like all the way through. So it's kind of weird being a Swede and knowing all these songs and everything in and out, but not knowing the English version is kind of weird. And to some way I actually prefer the Swedish version, because that's the one I grew up with as a kid and whatnot. But it's not a bad movie. I mean, it's a Disney classic, so if you can watch it, watch it. It's a little bit aged, but it's okay. Kids will love it, I guess. So anyway, thanks for listening and for watching, and take care.